Hello and welcome to this Forex Preview at xm.com. We'll be discussing upcoming data out of the Eurozone and how it might impact the euro. I'm Maria Pachurdevis, and joining me is lead investment analyst Rafi Boyajian. So Rafi, it looks as though European economies managed to avoid a recession during the winter season. Can you tell us about inflation in the euro area as it stands today, and also how the latest flash PMI readings due out on Friday might affect the ECB's next policy decision on May 4th?
Well, Maria, that is right. It does appear that Europe, at least for now, has dodged a recession. Of course, it wasn't that long ago. We were talking about the energy crisis, sparking a deep recession, and the Europeans potentially having to suffer energy shortages during the cold winter months. But apart from this past winter being a relatively mild one, the European Union did actually take quite a number of measures to ensure that they had plenty of gas supplies, and of course a few other measures to support consumers and businesses through this high energy price period. So although now we are seeing inflation come down in the euro area, that is mainly the headline inflation that is coming down on the back of the drop in fuel prices. Now, underlying inflation, which the European Central Bank is focusing more closely now, that has yet to peak. Potentially it's on the verge of peaking now, but it remains far too high. So one of the core measures is at 5.7%, which is just way too high for the ECB, because their target is 2%. So the ECB is definitely not done in raising rates. So this raises the question mark of just how many additional rate increases can the European economy take, because at some point, they would reach a point where we would see growth starting to suffer a lot more than it has already done so. So the PMIs will be important in giving us an idea of whether or not this rebound we've been seeing since late 2022, whether or not that rebound is gaining further strength, or we may potentially see the Eurozone economy losing some momentum.
So what's the outlook for the euro if we do get stronger than expected PMI figures?
Well, Maria, that's an interesting question because at the moment the euro is on a fairly decent uptrend against the US dollar. Now, of course, part of that is down to the fact that the Eurozone economy has proven to be a lot more resilient than anticipated. The other argument is that the Federal Reserve is closer to pausing its rate hiking cycle than the ECB is, because ever since the banking turmoil started to subside, we have seen ECB policymakers putting the possibility of a 50 basis point rate hike back on the table. When we had at the height of the banking turmoil, we saw investors largely scale back those hawkish expectations. Now it seems that everything's going back to normal. The Eurozone economy isn't in danger of a recession. Underlying inflation remains way higher, way above the ECB's comfort levels. We can be certain that there's going to be at least 2 more rate hikes coming from the ECB, if not more. So this should keep the euro supported. In terms of immediate responses, certainly any disappointment would weigh on the euro, but any weakness will probably be short-lived. On the other hand, clearly, if you were to get a positive surprise in the PMIs, then that would underscore the view that the Eurozone economy continues to defy expectations, defy all the gloomy predictions, and that the ECB is going to give the ECB more confidence to persist with this rate hiking cycle.
Rafi, thanks so much. And thanks for joining us for this Forex Preview at xm.com.